Hello, hello, everybody. Hi, Robin. I know that you won't be able to stay on. Well, you're not on because you popped in to say hi and that you would miss us, but that's okay. Hello to everybody else. Hello to Facebook. Hello to YouTube. Thank you for stopping by. I'm sure there's somebody out there in YouTube and Facebook land that has tuned in. If you haven't tuned in yet, I'm sure you will be in a few minutes because that's what we normally do. So, happy Halloween! It is Halloween night, and you guys are probably still passing out candy and enjoying the kids and the grandkids and everybody like that. So enjoy yourself. Pop in when you get a chance. Hi, Trisha. Happy Halloween. How are you doing? Thanks for stopping by. I am assuming you have completed your trick or treating since you're on. No, I know this is Halloween, so I'm sure there's going to be some late people or people that can't stop by or so forth and so on. But that's okay. We're still going to get together and have a good time. And as you can see, I have my, what is it, this way, my jack-o'-lantern, and then happy Halloween, my little spooky birds. So I am doing my little scarecrow that is running from the crow. Happy Halloween. What is it? Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween. Anyway, so hi Terry, how you doing? Um, Trisha, you say you don't get any kids where you are. I don't get any kids where I am either, so I'm good. Hi Mary, how you doing? Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. Like I was saying, I guess those of you that have popped in already have done your candy giving away situation. Hello, Rebecca. Thank you. Thank you for loving my shirt. It's a little scarecrow running away from a crow. That was about the best thing I could come up with for Halloween in a short notice because I don't do Halloween. I wanted to have um, some Halloween earrings, and I guess I waited too late to go look for them because I couldn't find any. And trust me, I looked for them about a month ago, so I couldn't find it. They were all gone. At least they were gone from where I looked. Hi, Ann. How you doing? Thanks for stopping in. I do appreciate it. So we got a few people coming in, even though it is Halloween night, and I know people are passing out candy, but it's getting a little late for the candy people to come by. So thinking everybody will be able to pop in a few minutes and join the live since I am here tonight and not in somebody's hospital like I was last week. I do apologize for that. That was out of my control. And those of you that did pop in and see the video and so forth and so on know what happened and everything. So, anyway, I'm here. And you say you think you'll get a glass of wine and watch. Well, please do. I have my ghoul hand here with my wine. Mm, with the green screen, it fades in and out, but that makes it look even more ghoulish. So I have my little ghoulish little concoction here. I'm drinking blackberry Stella Rosa wine, and I have to tell you, it is pretty good. I've had the blueberry, and I liked it. So I said, let me try this blackberry, see what it tastes like. And I like it too. So yeah, I like the wine. Um, Hi Marissa, how you doing? Thanks for stopping in. Do appreciate it. People are piling in here this Halloween night. I hope you got a chance to pass out all your candy and spend the time with the kitties and do all of those kinds of things. And so now you're ready to settle down and we can have a nice little conversation. And I did say, "Oh my God, horror story!" Oh, I tell you guys about it in a little bit. You're gonna laugh. It's a horror story. It was to me, but it resolved itself anyway. So hopefully everybody's fine. Hi, Arlene. How are you? Your name sounds new. I don't know. And Rebecca, I'm not sure if I've seen your name before or not. But Arlene, you seem like you're new. And I do appreciate you stopping by. And you're from Atlanta. Yay. I love Atlanta. I've thought about moving there several times, but it's a wonderful place. It's a fun place. And Rebecca, you said you've already had your quota of wine for your life. Ah, that's a lot of wine. I can't say that because I didn't start drinking wine until later on in my life because I am not a drinker, period. And so I didn't drink a lot of alcohol anyway. And I think I started drinking wine or appreciating wine um, in my early 40s. And I didn't even really start drinking it and loving it until I would have to say probably in my 60s. But anyway, I do like wine. And and you've been embroidering tea towels and long arming today. Okay, you've been busy. Are you preparing for anything special or are you just having a good time? Because I I didn't do any well, I did my shirt today. I came in and put the little shirt together. I said, well, I need to have something on for Halloween. So I did this little shirt. Um, and a little wine is good, but not too much. No, don't want too much. They said red wine is good for your heart. So I don't know if that's true or not. I do not care for red wine. It has too much tannin and it gives me a headache. So I don't drink red wine per se. This wine that I'm drinking is blackberry, so it's not actually red wine. Um, Slight little tinge headache, but I don't know if that's from the wine or not. But anyway, I um, I don't. To be honest about it, I drink wine on Tuesday night. Honestly, I drink wine on Tuesday night. I don't drink wine the rest of the week. So this is my wine down Tuesday, specifically for my glass of wine. So I don't drink wine throughout the week or anything like that. I have a glass of wine on Tuesday night with you guys to enjoy it. And that's it. And I'm glad you like my shirt. Thank you so much. I thought it was kind of cute. I combined the two designs. So I had the scarecrow running, but what was he running from? So I had the crow. Where's the crow? Crow here. And I put them on together and created the scarecrow running from the crow. Made more sense to me. So, and Marissa, thank you for asking. My husband's doing fine. He obviously is still having some pain. He had abdominal surgery, and it's going to take a minute for it to actually get where it's not any pain at all, but the pain is tolerable, and that's what's most important. And then being a guy, they always want to do something they don't have any business doing, and then when he does that, then it starts hurting again. So I just let him figure it out. And at some point, I said, you need to sit down, relax, be cool, take your time. You're still healing. It's just been a week today. So, but he's doing fine. Thanks for asking. Uh, he'll get through it. He'll get through it. He hasn't had a lot of surgery. So this is, and the last surgery he had was 20 years ago. So this is a new experience for him pretty much. So he's having to learn in his older age that the body doesn't like to get cut on, and when it does get cut on, it takes a minute. And then you're so sorry you didn't know, praying for him. Yes, that's a guy thing. Yeah. Yeah, last week I was not able to come on a live from home because we were in the hospital last week. Even though his surgery was scheduled to be an outpatient, that did not occur because they could not control his pain um, well enough where they were comfortable with sending him home. So on pills only. So they wanted to keep him in and give him more IV pain medicine to kind of get it settled because you have to stay ahead of that pain. So that's all that happened. We just ended up spending the night in the hospital instead of coming home as planned. So it wasn't a big deal. It just happened to be last Tuesday, which happened to be my wind down Tuesday. Therefore, I was not here. I was there, and I tried to pop on and do a little bit that I can based upon the circumstances. That's all. But thank you for the prayers. I appreciate it. And he is doing tremendously well compared to what he was doing a week ago. So everything is fine with that. So it is 12 minutes after 8. So I am going to go ahead and get started with the little presentation that I put together. And the title of today's Wind Down Tuesday is Horror Story. And what if you lost? Now, I have to tell you, I was doing, as most of you all know, it's a group of us that's doing this project together, working on a Christmas tree skirt designed by Juju Christmas tree skirt, which is a very comprehensive project. It's a lot. Trust me, it is a lot. So we're all trying to get ahead of the schedule because we scheduled our 10 weeks and it may or may not take the total 10 weeks, but this is the fourth week coming up tomorrow, so it is taking time because we're still in the embroidery part. We haven't even reached putting things together and cutting things out, putting them together and sewing and all this stuff. We haven't even gotten to that point yet, so we're still trying to do the embroidery. But anyway, I had completed um, the first level, and it was a lot of stitching. I changed all of my needles and everything before I got started. And I did the first level of the tree and had a lot of stitches, and a lot of stuff. So I was getting ready. I had done a few appliques that goes with this project. And I was beginning to have some thread breaks and different little issues and stuff. So I decided, well, it's time to change all my needles again. You know, you can only use the same needles for a period of time. So I said, okay, I need to change all my needles. So here I am changing all my needles. And I was struggling with this one particular needle. And this is on my big 10 needle machine. And with the project, I need to use all 10 of my needles for all the different colors. And I even still have to change colors occasionally because the appliques would call for 15, 16 colors or more. So occasionally I would have to switch out a color and put another one on and what have you. So I can't afford to lose the usage of any of my needles. So I'm steady screwing and screwing, trying to get the needle in. And if any of you, I mean, it doesn't have to be a multi-needle machine, just putting the needle in, period. And you screw the screw so far, you slip your needle in, and of course you tighten it back up. Why did my little bitty teeny weeny, you can't even see it, screw fell out, fell out. You can't put this needle back in there without that screw. Just tighten it. I have gray carpet on my floor, and the needle is silver. I have cataracts. I have glaucoma, and I wear glasses. So you know I can't see. I am down on this floor. Back pain, hip pain, neck pain, you name it pain. I'm down on the floor, on my knees, rubbing over the carpet, trying to see if I can find this screw, looking for the screw, hoping I don't press it down into the carpet too far. I don't feel it. Hope I don't crawl around and it cuts my knee. Okay, did you try to find it with a magnet? Yes, ma'am. Hadn't gotten to that part yet. So I grabbed this magnetic thing that I have that's about two inches long, an inch wide. So I get the magnet. I'm rubbing it all over the carpet, just rubbing it all over the carpet in different places and stuff. It's like, hopefully it's gonna stick. I can't. It ain't sticking nowhere. I'm moving everywhere. I think. Did it go up under my cart? Did it go up under the table? Where in heaven names did this little bitty, teeny weeny, you can barely see screw went? Could not find it. I go look in my toolkit that came with my machine, which you would think it would have some extra screws in there. It's got extra screws in there, but not for your needle. I looked through all of that, nothing that looks like a screw that goes in there. I don't know what to do. I don't even know how to get this part. Where do you get it? When would I get it? How do you get it? I mean, this was like OMG moment. Horror story for me. It was a horror story. So, um, you said the magnetic hoop works too. Yeah, any kind of magnet, any kind of magnet. Because I also had this wand that has a magnet on the end of it, and I got it and started moving around and stuff. So, lo and behold, I'm moving around things on my cart, trying to see, is there anything that I have that this screw, an extra screw might be in that came with my machine. And the heavens must have heard my cry. I looked, and lo and behold, there was that little bitty screw right there on my car. It had never hit the floor. Who are you talking about? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So got it in there and was praying all the rest of them would not act a fool with me so I wouldn't have it. Because I've never done that before with this machine. And I've never done it before with I did do it before where the whole thing fell apart, but it fell on a floor that didn't have carpet on it. So it was easier to find. But when you're dealing with something that has carpet and it can go into the carpet and you can't find it. So what did that make me think of? As I said, every time I have come up with a topic, it usually is because of something that has happened to me. So my thought process was, how many of you guys know where to get necessary parts for your machine if for some reason you were to lose a part, break a part, can't find a part, a screw, anything, especially these little bitty screws and stuff that are essential? What in the world would you do? What would you do? Do you know what to do? How many of you all still have your manual or anything that even tells you about the parts in your machine? Like, let me see, get to the page. Something like this. Yeah. That tells you the parts that came with the machine, the parts you can buy with the machine, and all of that. I went on Brother's site. Well, actually, yes, I went on Brother's site to see, can you get a screw, a little bitty screw. Yeah, you can if you know what the number is, because everything that was on Brother had a number, SA 1257, BK 892, some crazy number. How in the world do I know what that part number is? So the only way you're going to be able to order it is something you're going to have to wait and call somebody up and tell them what you're looking for, and hopefully they'll understand what it is, because you don't have any way of knowing what the parts are. Because I looked at my part, the manual for my PR 1055X, which is the one where I lost the screw, temporarily lost the screw. And I looked at the one for my SE 1900. So I still have my operation manual, and in the manual, you have your parts, and it tells you what you can buy, what the options are, all of that kind of stuff. All of that stuff is in there. How many people still have this information? Because that's where the numbers are. But unfortunately, the number for that little screw was not in there. So what would I have done if I had not found that screw? What would you have done if something like that happened to you and you needed to get a part? So it is very important that you know where to get a part or who to call that can help you out. Now, some of you all know a guy that is available to people in Virginia and Maryland. From what I've not met the gentleman, but I've heard his name quite a bit. And so it's quite a few of you all use this one particular guy that uh, he's a technician, and he probably could help you out, get you a part, fix your machine. Don't know how quickly that can happen, but at least you know it's somebody you can call. But we as crafters, we as embroiderers, we really need to know where we can get things and what they are. So what I did, like I said, I looked at all my manuals. I got all the manuals. I pulled them out. I looked through them to try to see if I could find a number for that doggone little bitty screw. I went on Amazon. I saw a little bitty screw that looked like the one that I dropped, but who's to say that that one would fit? There's no way of knowing it will fit. It did say brother machine, but that doesn't mean it would fit my machine, because how many brother machines are out there? And Marissa, you said give the company the model number. Yes, that would be one way of doing it. And you stole my thunder, because evidently you've had to do this before. Online sewing parts is a lifesaver. Online, the name of the place, well, actually, it's called Sewing Parts Online. Sewing Parts Online. I did the AI search as I always do, and that was the first one that popped up. So I went to that site. It's called Sewing Parts Online. They have everything. They have everything. They had, I don't know how many different little screws that look like the one that I dropped. All of them have model numbers and stuff. So again, as Marissa, you were saying, you definitely need your machine's model number. But the main crust of this conversation is you need to know where you need to know where to look for your model number on your machine, and who to call, where to go, what to do. Because I know for a fact that if I had not found my screw, I would have been in a tizzy for at least a day trying to figure out what to do. As a matter of fact, it was on the weekend, so I probably wouldn't have been able to do anything about it anyway. But just the mere fact that I'm busy in a project. I don't have time, don't want to take the time to waste to find something. And what if I had not found the screw, or what if I had lost more than one screw? Because, like I said, I was having difficulty for some reason, don't know why, but I could not get that needle in there. And I kept screwing it, knowing I shouldn't screw it out too far. But every time I would try to push it in, it act like it wouldn't fit. I'm turning it and turning it and turning it and everything and trying to get it in, and it act like it wouldn't fit. And then bam, it falls out. So that's what happened to me. So Rebecca, you say you always call Racoma, and they are pretty good about sending out parts. Well, that's good. Don't have a Racoma, and um, the brother, I did that as well, because the sewing vac that I go to is a baby lock. They sell baby locks. They do not sell brother, although they do maintenance on brothers. So they most likely would have parts for a brother machine. They're not open on Sundays. They close up at 6 o'clock. They're not going to bring me anything. And who's to say they had it? Don't know. But at least that would have been a place. And I also looked to see if there was any other place that was actually a brother dealer close by. And it was. So that may also have been a place to look for something. But I just wanted to put it out there that we need to be diligent, because I wasn't. I have to be honest about it. It never even dawned on me that I did not have a replacement screw. Because I'd never lost it before, so it never dawned on me that I didn't have a replacement screw. I knew I had replacement screws, several screws in my little toolkit, but it didn't dawn on me that I didn't have a replacement screw for a needle bar, and that's what I needed. So, Leslie, how you doing? And you said Jeanette had a good video on changing her multi needles, and she mentioned not to unscrew that screw too far, and that is true. You don't, but sometimes accidents do happen. I knew better not to screw it out too far. It wasn't done intentionally. It just happened. I'm trying to get the needle in there, and didn't realize that I had just screwed it just that much too far, and bam, it just fell out. And you do have to be very careful, because if you do screw it out too far, then you can fall. Now, I have to tell you that some machines, if you screw, and I've had this happen to me when I was mentioning I had another machine, and I was where I didn't have carpet on the floor, and I was brand new, didn't know what the heck I was doing. I was changing my needle. I screwed the screw out too far, and the whole thing fell apart. I mean, the whole needle bar, all of the screws that went in it, not just the little screw you screw in, but everything just fell apart and just fell out on the floor. I, with a hope and a prayer, figured out how to put it all back together correctly, in the right positions where it's supposed to go in. Because again, there was nothing in a manual, there was nothing that told you how to do it, there was nobody that was training you. This is how you put it back together if something falls out. We don't get that kind of information. That kind of information is not shared. And these are just regular everyday situations that could occur. You know, you learn how to do things, maintain your machine and stuff like that pretty much by watching videos, because I think that's how I learned about a bird nest. That's how I learned how to what to do if you got a bird nest. I don't remember what video or who it was. It could have been Eve. I don't know. But that's how I learned, okay, you get a bird nest and this is what you need. You need certain tools, and this is what causes the bird nest, and so forth and so on. So a lot of that information does come from watching YouTube, and usually that's from somebody that has had an issue. So since I've had this issue, and those of you that are watching, you will see, do not screw your screw out too far. If for some reason you screw your screw out too far and you cannot find the screw, you can go to um, sewing parts online and make contact with them and get your replacement if you had for whatever machine, because they don't just do brother, they do all kinds of machines. So that part is good. If you have a brother machine, whether it's multi needle or not, then I would recommend you go straight to Brother USA and make contact with them. And of course, they're going to need your model number and all that kind of stuff and send it out to you. And the screws aren't expensive, thank goodness. I'm wearing out the groove on my little plastic um, screws that you screw to put the arms and stuff on, and I was wondering where to get those because you don't have any extra ones of those either. I don't, not in my toolkit. But as I was looking on the sewing parts online, I saw them and I was like, okay, perfect. They got the big one, they got the small one. They're not that expensive, so I know where to get some. So I'm going to go ahead and get some extra ones so I have them in my toolkit. I'm going to go ahead and get some extra screws for the needle bar. So I have that in my toolkit. So these are the things that you can just kind of get and have just in case you have some kind of accident. Rebecca, you said you were lost as a goose. When you said you was lost as a goose when you started and you love your brother's surgery, but the training was the only reason you picked Racoma. You would have never stuck with it. Okay, well that's good. That's good that you got the training that you needed from Racoma. And you're right. I bought my brother 10 needle machine from a store in Tampa, Florida when I was living in Florida. And um, they would give you lessons. But the issue is with many of us, if you don't live close to where you bought your machine, going in for lessons is not always convenient, and it was not convenient to me. So I never did get any lessons. So my lessons were online. My lessons were YouTube. And thank goodness that there are people out there that usually put pretty decent videos out that help you out how to do something. Because I don't even know if there are books that are out there available to tell you just the you can find books and videos and stuff to tell you how to hoop, what kind of stabilizers to get, what kind of needles to get, you know, just the general information that you need about learning how to do embroidery. But the back end is what we need as well. The maintaining of the machine is what we need as well. And not just the oiling of the machine. We know we need to oil our machine. We know we need to change our needles. We know we need to clean out the needle plate and get all the lint and pieces of thread and all that stuff out of there. Those are the little things that we know that we need to do, but we don't know about what happens if you get a timing error. Most people, the first time that happens to them, it scares them. It scared me. I thought my machine was messed up. I didn't realize it was a simple situation, no big deal. I get them all the time now sometimes, and it doesn't even, trip me out anymore. First time that happened to me, I was like, yeah. I was like, oh my goodness, I just broke my machine. So little things like that. We don't have that information that's given to us, especially if we're new. If we're new with embroidery, it's something that we do have to learn. And like Leslie was saying about mistakes, you learn from your mistakes, and you do. You definitely learn from your mistakes, but your mistakes sometimes can be costly or they can be very frightening. Um, Gosh, what have I done? Something, I don't know. I don't even remember what caused it, but I remember something I did or didn't do correctly, and my machine made this big horrible noise. I almost died. I was like, this thing is about to blow up. It's going to fall apart. I don't know what it was that was wrong with the machine, but I do know that I don't want to hear that noise anymore. So I make sure everything that I do, I double check it. I double check my hooping, especially since I use magnetic hoops. I do my tracing. I've seen people say, "Well, I don't trace. You have trace." Blah, blah, blah. I trace every time I put that hoop on. Every hoop I put on, I trace. Sometimes I trace two, three times because I want to make sure I'm not going to hit my um, magnetic hoop because I don't want to bend the bar. I don't want to crack my hoop. All of those things are expensive. Get your machine out of timing, get it out of whack. Sometimes, you may be under warranty, you may not, but that's still going to be money. And not on only that is the fact that it's time taken away from you being able to use your machine. And that can be costly depending upon whether or not you use your machine to make money or have the even opportunity to make money. You may not be into a business per se, but many of us that do our embroidery have been approached by people and asked to make something, and where you can make a little coin. And so, if your machine is out of whack, you have turned it down. You're not doing what it is that you love to do and what you want to do. And so, Rebecca, you say you think they're haunted at Marissa, you say you see people take their machines apart. And that I don't have, uh, I haven't ever to do that. I have a son that helps me out with my machine, and I love him doing that. That's a blessing. I don't have a son to help me out with my machine, so I have to do everything. Um, and it is scary. You don't know. I'm not a mechanic. I don't know how to do any maintenance inside of the machine or under the cover of the machine. Um, so if anything starts cranking up that I'm not familiar with, I would not know what to do. I would definitely, a lot of times it's nothing that you have to do uh, that is hard or that your machine is really messed up. I've seen people put questions on Facebook and they get answers and they say, yeah, okay, that worked, whatever, which is great that we are able to share and get information like that that's going to help you. But again, knowing what to ask and not having a horrible heart attack when you get that crazy noise. And like and you say you put your hat hoop frame on wrong and it made that terrible noise. Yeah, please trust me. That noise is scary. That noise is scary. Leslie, you say you keep a magnetic bow that you got from Harbor Freight right by my machine. When I remove it, it's under $5. So you put your screws, I'm assuming, in your magnetic bow, which is good because I always try to put my screws somewhere where they won't roll off and fall and stuff like that when I'm unscrewing and everything. So I don't have a magnetic bowl. I think I might get one, but I do try to put it somewhere where it's not going to roll away. But even having a magnetic bowl at the time when my screw fell would not have helped me. It would not have helped me because it wouldn't have been there. Um, Hi, Bill. How you doing? Thank you. Happy Halloween to you. Um, Marissa, you say you got the error sign on your multi-needle one, and it took you 2 months before you touched it again. See, you just end up not using because it frightened you. It truly frighten you. And it does frighten you because you don't know what the problem is unless someone else has mentioned it to you or you've seen someone talk about it on Facebook or YouTube or um, some other platform or what have you that you may watch, then at least you have an idea. Because I know the first time that I heard that noise, it didn't keep me away from my machine, but it did scare me because I thought I had broken the machine, and I instantly turned it off. I instantly unplugged it, and I stood there and I looked at it for a good 5 minutes in horror, trying to wonder, oh Lord, what did I do to my machine? And then I took my hoop off, plugged it back up because I wanted to see, is it going to come on? Is it going to work? Or is it broken? And it came back on and everything was fine. So I assumed whatever made that horrible noise had something to do with the hoop. So something I didn't do correctly. I don't even remember what that was anymore, but I didn't do that again. Whatever that could have been, I don't remember um, what happened. But now it still frightens me, but I immediately shut the machine down. I immediately, because I don't want it to move not another inch. Because again, I don't know what happened to it. I don't know what's wrong. And Rebecca, you said that Ramiro Threads on YouTube is coming out with a book next month that covers a lot. He seems really knowledgeable, and you're going to look on it for at Amazon. Yeah, he is really good, and I don't know what is in his book, but if you get the book and you think it's worthy, if you can get back with us and let us kind of know what info is in there, because I love to get books and information and stuff, because you never know, like an encyclopedia, a Bible, or something about how to fix your machine. If this happened, this may be the issue, and so forth and so on. And it's not going to always be the same for all your machines, because I know, if I'm not mistaken, he was using a Racoma, and now what did he buy? Did he buy a Melco? He didn't buy another Racoma though. I don't. He may have gotten a Tajima or something. I don't know. If anybody knows, just put it in the comments. But I know he didn't get another Racoma, and we were questioning that one day we were talking about why, when he bought another machine, why he didn't get another Vacoma. We don't know, but he did get another machine. Um, and you say you remember what you did wrong. And Marissa, I Google everything. I love Google and YouTube for information. It's a lifesaver. Well, my son, and I don't know if he's on here looking or whatever, but he says Google is your friend. So he tells me whatever it is I know. Want to know, Google is your friend. Okay, so Ramiro got a Tajima. Okay, I knew it was something that he got that was not a Racoma, and I couldn't remember what it was. But since he is in the business, he does a lot of embroidery and stuff. He does have that business and stuff. That's probably a good route to go, because I hear that that's a wonderful commercial machine. Don't know if it, like I said, whatever happened between him not getting another Racoma, I don't know. But he decided to get a Tajima, so that's okay. So I, uh, like I said, I looked up some parts, looked up some information about where to look for embroidery parts. The first one on the list was Sewing Parts Online, which we said. Another one was Embroidery Warehouse. I looked it up, and um, it does have a lot of different parts and stuff, but they're mainly commercial. Barunda, Tajima, Toyota, SWF, machines like that. They have their own machine, the Embroidery Warehouse machine. They buy machines and sell machines, but they also have their own machine, and it is called the Embroidery Warehouse, um, or the TMWH. And I don't know if you've ever seen that. I haven't, but it's TMWH, and don't know anything else about that. I just looked that particular site up, and that's what I found. So Many Parts, that's another place. And they have a lot of different parts and stuff. And they do Tajima, Barunda, Brother, Toyota, SWF, and Mitsubishi machines. And they didn't put Baby Lock on here, but I would assume if they do Brothers, they may do Baby Lock. I don't know. But they also offer embroidered hoops, backing needles, fast frames, other professional embroidery supplies. And then they also mentioned Axion America, and this site offers parts for many different embroidery machines, and then Singer Online. So those were some of the places that you probably could go online to get parts. But again, it's always good to have my recommendation, and I know what I plan to do for myself. I'm going to have some of these little parts extra stored. So if some mishap occur again, I will have the little screws and stuff like that, because you never know when you're going to drop a screw. That's all I can say. You never know when you're going to drop a screw. That crap happens. It does. And I don't ever want to go through that again. It was a horror story. It wasn't a huge horror story. It wasn't like the end of the world, but it would have been very inconvenient for me if I had not found that screw. And it was like, what was horrible for me, and the reason I called it a horror story, is I didn't have another one, and I didn't know where to get another one. And it was like, okay, now what? So you really need to have something. Um, okay, and hi Becky. I saw you pop in, but I forgot to say hi to you. So how are you doing? Um, now Marissa said now she doesn't want to change her needles. You gotta change your needles. Cause you don't change your needle, your thread is gonna start shredding and breaking, and you may even start getting bird nests and all that kind of stuff. So you have to change your needles every so often. And I don't know if you guys even have a routine or a time frame that you follow as far as changing your needles. Do you have a schedule? Because I know I have gotten lax. I used to, especially when I was doing more embroidery, making things to sell, because I was embroidering a lot more than I do now. I still embroider practically every day, but then I was doing a lot of embroidery every day. And I kept on my calendar uh, what needle I changed and when I changed it. That way I wouldn't be wasting needles. Because like the other day, I changed all 10 because I didn't know which one was used more than the other one, and whatever. I was using them all pretty much, and I just went across the board and changed all 10 of them. But in the past, I've not done that because, like I said, I may have put change needle forward today, and then 3 days later, I'm changing needle two or three, two and three. I don't want to go two, three, four, and I just changed four, and I haven't used it that much because needles, they're not terribly expensive, but you use a lot of them. I try to buy 100 at the 100 pack at a time, but it doesn't take long to run through 100 needles. It does not take long to run through 100 needles if you're doing a lot of embroidery. And if you're changing your needles like you're supposed to, like they claim, if some people change out all their needles every day. That's the big industrial commercial when you're doing all that kind of stuff. I don't do that, but I do change my needle pretty often. Um, and anytime I have any kind of sign that the needle's getting dull, then I change it. So I try to keep my needles changed like they're supposed to be. And then you said too funny, let's not be scared. No, you don't want to be scared because you need to change your needle. Hey, Marissa, we need to make a chart to let us know who needs to be what needs to be changed next. Exactly, and that's what I was saying. A chart, just develop some type of needle chart so you'll know. And not only that, what type of needle did you put in there? Is this a sharp? Is this a ballpoint? Is it a 7511? Is it a 60 65 9? Or is it 114? What type of needle do you have? Is it a metallic needle, leather needle, microtech? All of these different needles. I don't know about you guys, but I use different needles for different projects. I don't just use straight 7511 for everything. I do use 7511 90% of the time, but I use other needles for different projects. So that's another thing that you need to keep a chart on. What needle or what type of needle are you actually putting it in there? And Rebecca, you said that's a good idea, but what is a good time frame? Huh. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember. There was a schedule that I was told in the very beginning about how often you need to change your needle. And I really can't remember. But it does have to do with how much embroidery you're doing per day. That I know for a fact. It has to do with how much embroidery you're doing per day. Because if you're doing a lot, if you're doing 8 hours worth of embroidery a day, every day, you need to change it. Some people change their needles every project, depending upon how dense the stitching is with that particular project. Now, I know that. I have not done that, but I do know there are some people that change their needles every project. Um, and you said Deborah Jones embroidery wheel is your go-to. What is that? I don't think I've heard of that. And what does it talk about? Can you put that in the chat? Because I would like to know what that is. And Leslie, you say you put a sticky note on your machine and on your Cricut tool on when you change the needle or the blade and the type of needle. Okay, that's one way of doing it. Yeah, that's one way of doing it. I have not done the sticky note thing. I did try to do the chart on the calendar, but like I said, I've gotten laxed on that. And you say it's on Amazon and Dime. And Deborah, okay, Deborah Jones Wheel, is that just the name of it? Um, Deborah Jones Wheel, Amazon. Hmm. I don't. Embroidery wheel is really awesome. I've wanted to do the embroidery for a while, and now it's a real job keeping up with everything. But it's fun. It is. Deborah. I'm not finding the Deborah Jones wheel, embroidery wheel, on Amazon. You said this is your go-to. Your go-to for what? Because I'm not finding any any. We may not be thinking about the same thing because I am just getting. I'm just getting the rolling wheel, and that's. I don't think that's what we're trying to find. Hmm, 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 hmm. They're giving you everything. Needlepoint tracing wheel basically is what keeps coming up. And I have Deborah Jones embroidery wheel. Mm-mm. I'm not getting anything. So I'm missing something. I don't know what it is. I'm missing something. But I oh if you're talking about the compass. Oh, okay. I have that. I have that. Is that the Deborah Jones wheel that you're referring to? Um, compass, that's what it is. Okay, I got that. I know what you're talking. I have one of those, and yes, it tells you what type of needle for particular fabric. Does it tell you when you should change your needle? But that is awesome. I do like that wheel because it does tell you the type of needle that you need, the size needle that you need. Um, for the particular fabric. It also tells you the stabilizer that you need for that particular fabric. Now, I know in Embrilliance, it also has an icon in there, and I can't recall off the top of my head where it is. I mean, what it is called, but oh gosh, it's on the tip of my tongue. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. You can look in that and put in there what type of fabric that you're going to do this particular design that you're working on. Say you have your design pulled up and you're putting it on denim, and you go up into that icon, pull it down, and you select denim. It will tell you, just like the compass does, what kind of stabilizer you need, what kind of needle you need, and all of that. So that's also in your Embrilliance software. I don't know if you guys are aware of that, but that information is in Embrilliance as well. But yes, the compass, and I didn't know it was Deborah Jones compass, but I do know it's the embroidery compass, and I do have one. I love it. It is definitely something that is worth getting. And yes, you can get it off of Amazon. You can get it from Dime because I think Dime is like a Dime product. They normally sell it for $25, but occasionally they have it on sale for 19.99, and if you get it off of Amazon, usually it's 19.99, but they tend to run out. So if you don't have one, you might want to check into getting one, but I would recommend that you get it off of Amazon um, for the 19.99. Save you $5. Save you $5. Get it free shipping. Because if you get it from Dime, it's $25 plus shipping, so you're spending $30 for it. And whereas you can get it for $20 off of Amazon. But yes, I do have one, and I've had it. I've had it for quite a while, and I do use it. And I also use the information in Embrilliance. So those are something that is very helpful. I don't know if, and it probably is. You can make up your own chart. You can use Excel or whatever, but there's probably some type of chart or something that you can find that allows you to keep up with your needle changes, when you change them, what you changed it to, what needle you use. And my question has always been, if I put in a leather needle to make something with, and I just use it for that one particular project. Can I use take that needle out, put it up, and come back and use that needle again, or do I need to pinch it? And every time I do a leather project, I need a new leather needle. That's my question. I've always asked myself because I know when I'm using just regular needles, 7511s, which I say 90% of the time, that's what I use. I don't change mine out every project. And I don't think I need to. I know some people don't change needles until they break. Now, I'm not going to do that. But I do know that there are some people that don't change their needles out until they start having issues. So that was my horror story, and I hope none of you have to go through anything that. But Marissa, you've already said now you're afraid to change your needles. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Marissa, you said you were on Zoom the other night with a YouTuber learning things that are in embroideries and stitch art. It's a lot, and I have a lot to learn. Oh, that's cool. If in doubt, if it sounds funny, change it. You say, and um, yeah, that can be a clue. That can that can be a clue. I know my metallic thread sounds funny, and I don't know why because I'm using metallic needle because I use my metallic thread with this project that I'm doing, and I've been using some metallic thread, quite a bit of it. And it's almost every time I get ready to stitch something with the metallic thread, it has a different sound. And my thought process is the thread is different because metallic thread does have metal in it. So that's my thought process. That's the reason why it sounds a little different. It doesn't sound as smooth, but it's not breaking or anything like that. And like I said, I have the metallic needle in it and I slow it down to the slowest speed and I just watch it. But it does sound funny. So, you know, that's with the metallic thread. But with other threads, and that would also depend upon the weight of the thread because you have the thick thread where you can do some projects with your thick thread. And that's going to be different, but you're going to have to use different needles as well. I think you need to use at least a 100 by 114 or something like that when you have those thick threads. And I think it's like a 12 weight. I have some 12 weight thread to do some projects with, and you have to have the big needles. And you're asking me, is it King Star? Yes, that's all I use. I have other metallic threads, but I only use King Star. I mainly use King Star because I have found that to be the best so far. It does not break like other metallic thread. It just stitches smoothly, but it does kind of make that noise. I noticed that the other day, and I was like, that's different. And it was every time I used the metallic thread. It wasn't with anything else. So that was interesting to me. But Marissa, you were on a Zoom the other night with a YouTuber learning things that are in embroidery and stitch art. Who was the YouTuber on Zoom? I would love to do that. I would love to do that. Leslie, you see there's some recommend that you change the needle every 8 hours. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. That's what I have been told that if you're stitching 8 hours worth of, if you're working 8 hours on your machine, then you need to change that needle out for the next day. That I think is a common rule for people that are doing commercial work. that they're working 8 hours a day or close to 8 hours a day. They change their machine, their needle every day. And then, like I said, some people will change their needles every project, depending upon how intense that project is. If you have a project with 100+ thousand or more stitches and all that kind of stuff like that, you may think about changing your needles out, from what I've been told. But if you just do routine stuff, um, I personally don't do it. I change my needles a lot. I use an old medicine bottle for my needles, that my old needles that I change out, because I don't just take them and throw them away. I take them and put in this medicine bottle, and then when it gets full enough, then I'll just wrap it up, tape it up, or whatever, and just pitch it. But I do put them in a in the medicine bottle, so they're protected. Um, and you said you'll watch the rest tomorrow. Can't hold you. Okay. Well, good night. Thank you for stopping by. I do appreciate that, as usual, always. But yeah, she mentioned King Star metallic thread. It's awesome. I use it um, almost exclusively now. I have some Madeira. I don't like it that much. Uh, it stitches okay. I was not impressed with the silver that I bought. I thought it was too dull. Um, I bought that over a year ago, and I barely have used it, which is surprising to me. I thought the Madeira was going to really be a good thing, but it really wasn't. I was kind of disappointed with that. I was kind of disappointed. So I know we don't have a big crowd tonight. I would venture to say it's probably Halloween. People probably are having Halloween parties and stuff with their kids and families and friends and what have you, which is fine. I don't necessarily celebrate Halloween. Never have. Um, I did do Halloween with my kids, and then I did do Halloween with the kids in the neighborhood and stuff like that. But now that I don't really, um, I'm not in a house, and people are so picky now. I just don't do Halloween. Put it that way. I don't do Halloween. It is not my favorite time of the year. My favorite holiday is Christmas. That's my holiday. Now I can just go all out with Christmas and stuff. I can't. I have to learn to control myself when it comes down to Christmas. I know even my kids would even talk about me and my Christmas situation. The other day I was doing some stuff cleaning out of storage, and my daughter made mention that I had a million zillion Christmas trees. I don't think I still have them, but I've had a lot of Christmas trees over life, and I like I said, that's me. Christmas, anything that's Christmas is my thing. Halloween, not so much. I'm not big on Halloween, but Christmas is my thing. But people, Halloween is a billion-dollar business, multi-billion-dollar business. People go way out. I was surprised. I did not know that people were spending so much money, time on Halloween costumes and all of that kind of stuff. I did those things in the past. Um, I made some costumes. My kids did trick or treating. I did trick or treating a little bit when I was young, not a lot. And I guess maybe that's why I didn't ever get big on Halloween, because I didn't do it when I was a kid. I didn't do a big Halloween thing growing up. And that may have been the reason why I never did really embrace the Halloween thing. And Kristen, hey, how you doing? And you never celebrated Halloween with your children. You love the fall and Thanksgiving. Yeah. I did. I did do this. My kids dressed up and went out and got candy and stuff like that before everything just got crazy. And I think that's another reason why I just kind of like pulled back from Halloween when the Tylenol scare came out, the razor blades and the apples and all that stupid stuff that people did way back when, and people just kind of got afraid to send the kids out for trick or treating, and people started going to the mall and having the church parking lot thing, which is really good to have someplace, and they were having private parties and stuff, which made a lot of sense. But then that stopped the neighborhood situation, which for me, when I was in my house, was fun to stand at the door and see the kids come down the street with the costumes and come up to the door, and you see how cute they look and everything like that. And I put out my little decoration and stuff like that. And that part was fun, but it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't like I went overboard with it. I put out a little costume, little decoration, had my big bowl of candy, and I'd pass out the candy. When the bowl was empty, the door was shut and the light was off. But I have to say the bowl was never empty because I always made sure I had a lot of candy. So I ended up with a lot of candy left over. So my bowl was never empty. And I would get, they probably didn't like my candy, but I would have some chocolates. But I also would have that other kind of mixed stuff where you can just reach in and get a handful and just dump it. And that's what I would do. And that was my celebrating Halloween. So, like I said, I guess a lot of people are still. Now, what I did, I like going to adult parties. That I really enjoy. And I have not done that in a long time. An adult Halloween party was always fun. Getting dressed up and going and dancing and eating, drinking, having a good time and all of that stuff. That part was a lot of fun. I found this at Joanne today, and they had it 70% off. So I grabbed it. Hopefully, you can tell it's the skeleton hand grabbing the glass. I thought that was pretty cool. So I said I have this. This and my little shirt will be my Halloween celebration for tonight. I wanted earrings. I couldn't find them. So I said the moons and the stars and stuff for Halloween that worked too. I am missing a lot of my regulars. A lot of my regular people, they may be watching. They're just not on here. I don't know. But that's okay. I just, this is my day. This is my day, my wind down Tuesday that I'm going to be here every Tuesday night, whether it's a holiday or not. And I'll talk to the air if I have to, because people will watch. I know people watch after the fact, and I do appreciate people stopping by and watching the replay and watching, tomorrow or later on tonight or what have you to see what we talked about. And like I said, my main goal tonight was to emphasize the need for people to make sure that they know how to get parts and who to talk to if you have a tech person. I don't have a technician, but I think I'm going to make contact with this gentleman that some of the people that I know have a relationship with. So the next time I need to have my machine maintained, maintenance done on my machine, I'll call him, and then hopefully he'll be the one that I'll have to call or will be able to call if I have an issue with my machine. Um, but again, like I said, I am definitely going to get me some spare parts and have them readily available just in case something happens. And Marissa, just get you some spare parts. So don't be afraid to change your needle. You need to change your needle. Just get you some spare parts. If you drop the screw or whatever falls out or whatever, just pick it up, put it back in there, and keep going. Or ask somebody, call somebody, or what have you. Um, so you won't be afraid to go ahead and work on your machine, and don't stay away from your machine. Who's that said they stayed away from their machine for 2 months after it made that crazy? No, I've not done that. Now I know we've been doing our Christmas tree skirt project now. Tomorrow will be the fourth week, and it's about 9 of us that have been consistent and moving right along, and I think doing really, really well in our progression. I have done the first 2 tiers. It's 3 tiers, a total of 3 tiers, 15 per tier, and I've done the first 2 tiers. And I have to tell you, that middle tier of the North Pole with the appliques, huh, child, that is interesting, is all I have to say. Leslie, you say you stay away from your single needle for 2 years after you. Oh, why? That's not good. You know, I hear how people buy their machines and they don't use them. I don't understand that. I don't understand. Let me back up. I have a baby lock celebrate surgery, and I have to admit, I did have that surgery for a year before I used it. However, when I got the surgery, I took it out the box, I set it up, I threaded it, I checked to make sure that it worked, and it worked, and everything was fine. I looked at the video, and I did everything that it said to do. Then I packed it back up and put it in the box. Now, my thing with and I've used it since, but I don't use it on the regular. And I'm going to tell you why. The number one reason why I don't use it on the regular is that I really don't know how to serge per se. I can do a straight serge line, but I'm not proficient in serging. I need to really take some lessons. That's the first and number one reason why. The number two reason why is that currently where I am, I don't have room to set it out. If I had my surgery machine sitting out where I could readily get to it, I would use it more. I know I would use it more because there are things that I want to do that I know I can do on a serger, and I would just go ahead and give it a try. But currently, I have nowhere to put it. So I am in the process of trying to rearrange things in my little room, whereas I will have room to set my serger up because I'm doing a project now, like those tiles that I did and I put up last week where I made the ruffles. I know that I can do those ruffles on a serger without having to do it manually, which is how I showed everybody how to do it on the video. And I want to go ahead and do it on the surgery machine and show people how to do it that way because I have a ruffler and I know it can be done on the surgery machine. So that's what I want to do. So I need to get my surgery machine up some kind of way. And if I follow through, I might get that up by this time next week because I really want to use my surgery machine. But back to what I was originally saying, not understanding why people don't use their machines. And oftentimes it's because people say they're afraid of it. I'm not afraid of my machine. I may not know what I'm doing on it, but I'm not afraid of it. I'm going to get on it and try to figure something out. And Kristen, you said you have had your surgery for a long time and have never used it. Your niece attempted once but couldn't operate it operate it and you cut it off. Oh, no. Now, what I do know and what I've been told, some of the older model sergers are difficult to thread. And that's why some people shy away from using them, because I know before I got my machine, I talked to my cousin, which is a seamstress. Well, she is educated in sewing, and she used to sew and make clothes and stuff all the time. She don't do none of that now. But anyway, she told me a surgery was not hard. She said the hardest thing about a surgery is threading it. I have the airflow surgery. I have this Baby Lock Celebrate, which has the automatic airflow where it threads through the loopers and all of that kind of stuff, and it's pretty much uh, automatic. Push the button, bam, there it goes. So it's not hard to thread. So that part is not an issue. My issue again is, like I said, I don't really know enough about surgeon to just put it up and say, okay, I'm going to make something with my surgeon machine. I have books, um, and then it does come with a manual, and it tells you how to set the settings, because that's the other thing. You have to know how to set the settings in order to get the stitches that you want. And the little booklet that comes with it tells me how to do that. So I really just have to just do it. And then I have uh, a lot of different pressure, pressure feet that do different things on my serger. And I almost positive one of them is a ruffler. So I'm going to go ahead and figure that out. And I may do that tomorrow, maybe, because that's what I want to do. And Leslie, you say you stayed away because you didn't have lessons. And once you got lessons, you were no longer afraid, and you went on and purchased a Baby Lock serger, another single needle Destiny 2, and a multi-needle machine. Yep. And so you got your courage up and you just went hog wild. But that's good. That's good. You just went for it. And that's good. And Marissa, you say you have one more machine that you would like to have, and then you're done, and you're thankful for everything that you have. So what other machine do you want? And Leslie, the air thread machines are a game changer from the singer that you started out on. Yeah, that's what I was told, because when I that's the only reason I bought the serger, because when I heard about it and read about it and knew that it did the airflow and that the threading of it was going to make it easy, that's what made me decide to go ahead and get a serger machine, because I didn't want anything that was going to be complicated. It's already bad enough when you don't know what you're doing with it. And then it's also hard to thread. So I didn't want that. So that's what made me go ahead and buy mine, because it was the airflow. And Kristen, you say you also have a StarCraft Solo and you barely know how to operate it, and you're done buying. I am done buying a machine. I don't know what a StarCraft Solo is. And Marissa, you would like to have a DTF machine but can't decide on which one to get. Oh, okay. I'm still on the fence with the DTF. I know when I first saw Eve at the baby's booty do the very first DTF she had, which she eventually got rid of that and got a better one. And she don't even do that anymore. But when she got the other one, and it was easier to use, I still had not decided to do it, even though I know that you can do more with the DTF machine than you can with the sublimation, um, as far as different fabrics and colors. If you're doing apparels, which is what I definitely want to do. but I'm still out with the DTF. I haven't made up my mind on that one. And Kristen, you say it's like a cricket. Oh, okay. The StarCraft solo is like a cricket. Okay. I don't think I've heard about that one. The purchases were over time. You didn't have funds to go home. Wow. You'd buy the baby lock catalog if I did. Understood. Understood. Trust me. I would go hog wild if I had the funds. Not really. If I had the money to buy whatever I wanted, I would get the Brother Luminaire. I would get an 8 thread serger because you can do much. It's an overlock and cover lock overlock, so you can do more things with it. So I would get the 8 cone serger because right now the Celebrate is 4, and you can't do everything that you can do with that 8. So I would do that. So that's 2. And then I would get another multi-needle machine, but I don't know which one it would be. I'm not going to say it would be a brother as much as I would love for it to be a brother. And it's not that I would venture away from a brother because I have an issue with brother. I don't. My thing would be hoop size and needle count would be my draw for the next multi-needle machine because I want bigger hoop, more needles. But I love my brother. I would be a happy camper if brother would make a true commercial machine with a bigger hoop and more needles. I would be in heaven. Kristen, you say you're not messing with those DTF because something about the powder makes me uncomfortable. Okay. And Marissa, I do the DTF hack and it uses the powder. And if you have good ventilation, it's not bad. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Well, people say you need more ventilation with your sublimation ink as well. So anytime you're doing crafting and using chemicals, you have to be mindful of your ventilation situation. So, and Leslie, when you buy the industrial machine, you need to industrial machine. You get 2 of every hoop. Yeah, you do. And that's. But you know what? That would not be a sales point for me because I don't use regular hoops. I use mighty hoops. So giving me 2 of every hoop, if it's 2 of every mighty hoop, then we talking, yeah, we talking business because I'm not gonna do anything but turn around and buy the big whatever mighty hoop that's gonna fit that machine is what I would end up buying 2 of. I would not necessarily use the 2 hoops that come with the machine unless it's something that Mighty Hoop does not make. If Mighty Hoop does not make one that size to fit that machine or whatever, then I would be forced to use their hoop. But if I can substitute and use a Mighty Hoop, then I would be using Mighty Hoop anyway because I don't use regular machine hoops. I have not used one in at least 2 years, 2.5 years. Because after I got my machine, I went straight to Mighty Hoop. Matter of fact, I got the hooping station, the Hoop Master hooping station when I got my machine. So I went straight to Mighty Hoop from day one, and I've added and added and added, and I have the largest hoop that you can put on a brother machine. I have the jumbo hoop. Now there are some smaller hoops that I would like to have, but they're not something I have to have. So I have just about every mighty hoop size that I need to do what it is that I do. I could use a smaller hoop to do cuffs and stuff like that, but um, no, I don't. Ooh. Even on my single needle machine, I went and got some magnetic hoops. So I use Durkee fast frames. I use those, and I use mighty hoops. But I don't use the regular two-piece plastic hoops. I don't use them. Um, it's only great advantage with getting uh, your SWF12 was the two head hoops. I use mighty hoops also. Okay, so you did get an SWF 12 needle. You like it? And Leslie, you were interested in the glow forge, but you need ventilation. And I had the mighty hoops and the fast frame. I don't think I have ever used my my hoops either. Yeah, I don't use them. Um, the glow forge and the X tool are similar. They're both laser machines, if I'm not mistaken. I have neither. I do want a laser cutter. I would love to have. I have seen people do some beautiful stuff with those machines. So I would like to have one of those as well. I have forgotten about those. Oh, which reminds me, I was going to tell you guys about this new brother machine. And this is strictly for information only because I don't know if any of you have seen this. Let me see if I can find it. I put it on here to make sure. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Yes. This machine is called Sketch. S as in Sam, K as in kite, I, T as in Tom, C as in Charlie, H as in Henry. Sketch. Sketch embroidery made easy, now available at Joann Fabric. This is a 4x4 single needle uh, embroidery machine. It looks almost like a coffee machine. It's gray. I don't know if I can show. Can you all? Can you see that? Can you see that? I'm gonna get out of my. Let me get out of my virtual background. Go to regular me. Okay, you see that? That's what the sketch looks like, and it's a supposedly $799.99, but it's on sale for $499.99. And it's an industrial look with modern design, but it connects with the Art Spira mobile app. Now, I mentioned Art Spira to you guys a few weeks back, which is an app that Brother has out that you're supposed to be able to get designs, get creative, do sketching and stuff like that. I've not used it yet. I just have not used it. Um, it says when you're ready to bring new life to your old, that's the other thing, they're promoting it to bring life to older, to things you already have. When you are ready to bring new life to old favorites such as vintage clothing and upcycling, or looking to draw your next great idea on Art Sphere, the Sketch PP1 single needle embroidery machine will be ready. To start using the embroidery machine, you have to have the free ArtSpira mobile app, and you get 100 free embroidery designs within the free ArtSpira app, and then you can also get other designs that way. Um, the ArtSpira lets you design line art inspired embroidery drawings right in the palm of your hand because you're doing it with your phone. With built-in embroidery drawing tools and optional stitch types, and with the tools at your fingertips, and it fits on this 4x4 embroidery area, and quickly transfer your creation into your machine. So, and it also has free arm. That was the other thing I want to mention. So you can do pockets, and you can do uh, shirt sleeves and legs, and things like that, because it's free arm. It's not like a flat bed. Um, it has a thread trimming key at the touch of the. Oh wow, it's Halloween. That went out. Um, it has a quick set bobbin, a needle threader, and the speed is 400 stitches per minute. So I thought this was pretty interesting. And it tells you to make ready-made clothes homemade. Take your store-bought items such as jeans, towels, and blankets, and make them your own with your own personal embroidery style, courtesy of the Art Spear and Sketch single needle embroidery machine. Has a small footprint. Single needle fits nicely into any craft room, and on and on and on. What do you all think? I Does it cut jump stitches? Hmm. Hmm. And let me see. Question: I've seen earrings made with glow okay or laser cutter. Yeah, it looks like the Singer heavy duty sewing machine. And Mary says, please compare laser machine before you make a purchase. The Glow Forge cannot score and engrave tumblers, but many of the other laser machines can. They all can cut earrings. Yeah, I've not heard a lot of good things about Glow Forge, so I don't know. And then Leslie, you're saying it does look like the Singer heavy duty machine, but it's not heavy. My thing is what I don't care for. This is another look, just to give you an idea. What I don't care for with this machine is, of course, the 4x4 does not excite me. But most importantly, it operates with your phone and that ArtSpira software. So you're confined. That, and it's $500, and that's why it's on sale. If it's not on sale, it doubled. It's $800. So I don't know if Brother's going to do very well with that machine or not. I'm sure there's a market for it, and there are people that will buy whatever comes out that's new just to give it a try. I don't know. I've not. I just saw this yesterday, so I don't exactly know when it came out. I was in Joanne today. My Joanne did not have it, so I don't know what Joanne has it, but my Joanne did not have it. So I've not been able to see it up close and personal. Is that a thumbs down, Marissa? That looks like a thumbs down to me. I'm holding my my thoughts on this machine until I see more about it. But I'm not, this particular introduction has not impressed me. I put it that way. Because I don't see where it fits into a regimen unless it's somebody that is on the fence about embroidery wants an inexpensive machine to try out. But I was told the other night that there are more regular brother embroidery machines that um, are even less expensive. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And Leslie, you talking about the laser machine. The laser cutters will eventually come down in price. Glowforge is, oh my goodness. Glowforge is still 5K. I didn't know it was still 5K. I knew it was at one point, but it's still 5. No, no. But I would like to have, I forgot to put that on my list because I had forgot all about the laser machine. At one point when they first came out and I first learned about them, I was really interested in one. But then one lady that I was familiar that I know had gotten one and she did not have good luck with it and she had to end up sending it back and then I just kind of lost interest in even thinking about getting one because I don't need that kind of I don't need that kind of issue. Um, so yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. I did not realize that they were still that expensive. Now, what's the difference between Glowforge and X Tool? If anybody is aware, because I know that there are people that are getting the X tool, and I don't think it costs as much as Glowforge, and but I do know because I was kind of looking, they have different components, and I think as you add components to it, the price goes up. I might be incorrect on that, and I know they sell those at Michael's. I think I've seen the next tool at Michael's. I think. But I'm not in the market to get either one of them right now. But it definitely is something that makes beautiful things. Beautiful. The crafting is really nice. And with that being said, you probably could make things and make good money. Hey, Margot, how are you? No problem. It is a little late, but no problem. We're still here. It's always glad for someone to hop in. And Leslie, you said maybe one of the influencer will get one of the machines you mentioned in the unboxing. I'm sure there's some unboxing videos out there. If I'm not mistaken, um, Eve has an X tool. I have not seen her video on it, but I think she got an X tool a while back. Did she do an unboxing or anything on it? I don't know. You might be able to look it up. But I think she has an X2. I think. But I personally have not put any effort into finding anything out about the lasers because they're not high. As you can tell, they weren't on my list. They're not high on my list of things to get right along with the DTF because the DTF I am on the fence because they're coming out with more and more different types of papers and inks and what have you, and even printing machines and stuff that people are using in place of the regular sublimation where you can do different the same thing that you would do with a DTF. And then Leslie, you said Patrice from craftable things has an X too. Okay. Maybe that's where I saw the X too, because I know Patrice and Eve kind of do things together. So maybe when I hopped on that one night, that was what was going on. But I thought it was Eve, but I'm not. I can't say for sure. Cannot say for sure. I just know I thought. And Marissa, you have the X. Okay. You have the X tool D1. The only thing I would like for it to cut is clear acrylic. I need to get the extension to cut larger. Okay. So it does not cut clear acrylic. And Margot, you said Eve does have one of those types of machine. I I thought that she had the X tool. I don't think she has the Glow Forge. I think she has the X tool. But like I said, I could be wrong. But I thought that's what I saw. I don't really know a huge difference between the X tool and the Glow Forge. But I hear more people talk about X tool now than I had because I hadn't heard the word Glow Forge in a minute. So it's been a while. Eve has the X tool M1. Okay. All right. Okay. So, but I don't know what she's doing with it now, if anything. If anything. And I don't know how that would fit into her rhinestone business. I'm sure it can. I assume. I know you can definitely put rhinestone and embroidery together. That is not an issue. You can put rhinestones and vinyl together. That is not an issue. I don't know about the rest of the stuff. I do know that people. Eve does have the X2M1. So do many of us. It's a what is it? Die cutter and does not cut clear acrylic. Okay, I went to the Blink Fest last weekend. It was very nice. Okay, good. That's wonderful. I've seen a few people with some pictures that have come out, and it looked like you guys had a wonderful time. I saw that Eve had the purple flock, which I thought was cute, and I don't know if it was Patrice or somebody put out pictures of you all. It probably was the dinner that where everybody was dressed in white. But yeah, it looked like the Bling Fest was a hit. So that was pretty good. Pretty good. So Mary, you were at the Bling Fest as well. Well, that's good. That's good. So I'm assuming you all had a good time. I don't bling enough, but when I first saw it, well, you all were deep into the getting ready to go situation when I first heard about it. I said if I had been doing blinging more and had I learned about it earlier, I might would have tried to attend. So now that I know that it most likely will be one next year, who knows? I might try to get caught up on my blinging so I can attend the Bling Fest. And have a good time because I want to start going to more events and expos and things like that. That's the best way to learn a lot of what's out here, meet other influencers, and just kind of grow your channel yourself when you're collaborating with other people. So hopefully next year I will be able to do that. And Mary, you said it was great. Your sister went with you, and she had never blinged anything, but she did bling and had a ball. Okay, that was cool. That was cool. So I guess you didn't have to be. Well, I bling, so I know how to bling. I'm not nowhere near um, mastering it, but I've definitely blinged. I know how to bling. And my thing is to get better with templates and stuff like that. I've done multicolors, not a lot, but I'm a quick learner. So who knows? I might do that next year. I don't know. She's sprung. Blinging is fun. Blinging is fun. I love rhinestones. I absolutely love rhinestones. Um, it's just not enough time in the day, and you got to pick. You got to pick one. Margot, you say you do not bling. I have been. I do not bling. I've been buying rhinestones since last year. I need to get a cutter and a heaper. Oh man. Okay. You're just buying the rhinestones and you're not doing any blinging. You're just getting yourself ready. Okay. Edward, you need a cutter and you need a heat press if you're gonna do some bling. You can start off small, like Eve always said about the 4x4 embroidery machine. You can get you a Cricut Joy, and you can get you one of those handheld Cricut heat press, and you can start off small and grow as time goes on. And that would be something that is budget friendly. They have the Cricut Joy Extra that's a little bit bigger than the smaller one. I have the smaller one. I don't have the Cricut Joy Extra. I don't intend to get it. I don't see a need for it because I don't use the Cricut Joy that much. And if I need to make something bigger than the Cricut Joy, then I'll just go on to my Cricut Maker and be done with it. I have a Cricut Maker 3. And I do have a heat press because I like I said, I know how to bling. I use Cameo Business Studio and to do I have created templates and I have brought templates in and got them ready to cut out the flock and all of that kind of stuff. So I know how to do a little bit, not a lot, but I know how to do a little bit. And Margaret, yes, I have the brother scan and cut, but it is very slow to cut rhinestone. Um, I don't have a scan and cut. I have a Cricut. I have a Cameo as well. I just don't know how to use that thing. I have a Cameo 4, and then I have a Cricut Maker 3. I use my Cricut Maker 3. I don't know how to use my Cameo 4. I don't have a scan and cut. So it's good to know that it's not good for rhinestone. But the Cricut Maker 3, now that because I got the Cameo mainly for rhinestone, but I didn't know how to do rhinestone. But I knew that you could do your conversion in the Cameo silhouette business studio, and then they start making the rhinestone templates and stuff because I was getting it from File Addiction, where it was compatible with your Cricut. So I would go ahead and set everything up in the studio and then send it to my Cricut machine and cut it out. And that's what I've been able to do with with my Cricut machine. And Marissa, you said Eve uses a HTV. Uh, what is a HTV RONT? RONT 15 by 15 at the Bling Fest. Maybe it will be on sale again Black Friday. It was $189 on sale. That's not bad. A 15 by 15 for $189. Girl, you need to grab that up whenever it goes on sale. And Leslie, you say you need a class. You say you need a class. You need to take a class on how to make a rhinestone template. Patrice seems to make a lot of them and gives classes. Yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool. I've done it. I'm not good at it, but I have done it. I don't know how to make the big fancy ones. And yeah, I knew that the HTV RONT 15 was a heat press. I just don't know what the RONT stands for. or what that means. You said that's just the brand. Okay. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I knew it was a heat press. I have a 16 by 20 clam uh, heat press, and then I have the Cricut Auto press, which is I think it's a 12 by 15. I want a 16 by 20 Auto with the pull out platen, and I want it to be where you can thread it. That's my dream heat press that I want. Maybe at some point I'll get one. If I sell the two that I have, maybe I can take that money and get the one that I want. That's what I want. That I would be happy with my heat press, because my 16 by 20 that I have does not pull out. So you let it up and you have to do all of your arrangement and everything underneath that hood with all that heat and everything. And I'm not burned myself, but I'm always afraid I'm going to. So I don't like that. Okay, HTV RONT sells heat presses and the cup presses. I have a tumbler press where I can do cups and everything, and I also have the Cricut uh, cup press or whatever they call it. I have that mug press. That's what they call it. The Cricut mug press. I have that. So, and I used to do a lot of that stuff. I haven't done a lot of that in a while, but I used to. What I've not done and I need to do besides surgery, I'm not done vinyl. I've not actually cut out vinyl. I've not done that. And I got a lot of vinyl, but I've never done it. I just have not made myself do it. I have everything I need to do it. I just have not done it. I concentrate too much of my time and energy into embroidery, and I want to branch out, do a little bit more rhinestone, and maybe get back into some sublimation. I don't know. But I just never have gotten to the point where I really had the desire to do vinyl. But since I have all this vinyl, I really need to do that, because what else am I going to do with all my vinyl I got? And I have quite a bit of vinyl, because when I first started and got my heat press and my cutting machine, I just went vinyl crazy. I just started buying vinyl. Every time I would go somewhere and it was on sale, I'd buy the vinyl. So I end up with a lot of vinyl. And Margot, you say you're going to get the Juliet or the Romeo cutter. I don't know if I want that. I know they're bigger, and that would be the only reason I would even consider it, is because you can cut out bigger um, templates, which could be important, because I remember not very long ago I had created a design with the cut and stitch software that I had, where I had the rhinestone template I had created to go around my embroider design, and it was 12 inches. And I couldn't put it on my 12-inch um, Cricut, because it was exactly 12 inches. It needed to be small. And I didn't know how to cut in half. What I've been told, I could have, figure out a way where you cut half and half, put it together, which is what I figured I could do. I just didn't know how to do it. So I said that would be the only reason why I would need a bigger one, because if for some because I like to do jacket backs, and this is for a jacket back. And if I'm doing a jacket back, I like a big back, and therefore, if I'm putting rhinestone around and stuff, that makes it even bigger. So I would need a bigger one to cut the template out with. That would be the only reason I could even see. But I do know when I look at a lot of the designs and stuff that you guys that follow Eve with her rhinestones and learning how to do the templates and stuff, though that's a whole full shirt. I've been seeing the whole full shirts, the whole back, the whole 9 yards. That's lots of rhinestone, and I could see where the Romeo or the Juliet would come into play and be very useful. So I guess if I ever was to get into it, I probably would want that as well. And Leslie, you say you took a class to make in the bag, use it in the bag, in the hoop bag using vinyl earlier this year, and you made a poo bag from design by Little B and Key Fob. Got a lot of vinyl from the remnant area in Joanne. Okay. And Margot, you said it's faster than the scan and cut, and it cuts 12 by 24 also. Yeah, I knew it did the 12 by 24. I don't have a scan and cut, and I'm on the fence about a scan and cut as well because I know it doesn't do the rhinestone templates very fast from what I've been told. And I don't know what it can do more than what a Cricut can do, which I already have. I do know if you get the newer model, it does talk like it would talk directly to my machine. And if I did a lot of application stuff, it could really be beneficial if it cut them out fast enough and if it was accurate. But I don't know if that would be something that would be worth me spending that money on the scan and cut. So I'm still up in the air with the scan and cut as well. I have to pick and choose my battles and pick and choose my machines and stuff. And like I said, my heart is set on a Luminaire. And if I need to save my pennies and not get all these other machines so I can get my Luminaire, that's my focus because that is my dream machine. If I had a Luminaire along with what I already have now, I would be a very happy person. Very happy because I do love them. And the Solaris is fine too. Either one of those machines because they're both the same to me. But I definitely want those machines. And I like the Stellar. The Stellar is kind of up there with the Luminaire to me. The only thing that I see that the Luminaire has that the Stellar does not have is the projector, which I love. But I could live without if I could afford to get the Stellar and not the Luminaire. I could live without it. But that would definitely be a compromise. But anyway, I'm looking at the clock now and I see that it is 10 o'clock. So perhaps we need to um, cut this off. I have my group meeting, the sew along with the group tomorrow. And oh, Margot said you can scan pictures with the scan and cut. Okay, okay. And it cuts it out. Okay. That's interesting. That's interesting. That makes it very interesting. It's good to know. What I was about to say with the sew along, I know we won't be able to do one this year because it's going to take us deep into November, if not December. We're scheduled to go through December the 3rd, I believe, is the last day that we're scheduled for our sew along, if it takes us that long. However, I would be very much interested in us as a community, as the social society community, to do several sew alongs next year because I think this is a lot of fun. I think it is something that people are enjoying it now, and more people would enjoy it because what it does, it kind of forces you to do projects that you've been putting off, that you probably have bought designs and stuff for, and you never did them. But this way, you'll get a chance to do them because do it as a group. So you might want to think about that because that's what I'm thinking about, trying to get something like that set up. So we can talk about that as we go. And Les, you were saying, wow, all these machines. Remember the sizzle, which blade, quick cut, baby bug, cricket. What do we do with them? I didn't get the baby bug cricket, but I do remember that. And the sizzle or size it or whatever. I didn't get a wish blade though. Okay, good night, Becky. Everyone, I'm watching Texas Rangers in the World Series baseball, so far they're doing great. Well, that's good. Go Texas Rangers. I'm not looking at any base. I'm sure that's what my husband is doing. He hadn't said anything about it, so I don't even know who he's rooting for. Our team is not in there, so he probably could care less. We don't have Tampa Bay in there, and we don't have the Orioles in there. Um, so who cares? Go Texas Rangers. But anyway, good night to everybody. I will talk to you guys next Tuesday. And those of you that are in the sewing sew along, I will see you guys tomorrow night. And we are on the sew along 12. We were on the sew along until after 12 midnight last week, but it was fun. We were. We just hung it in. We just talked. So it was fun. And my husband is doing a lot better. He's doing a lot better. He is recovering from his procedure last week. He's still got a ways to go. But thanks for asking, Margot. So um, we did have fun last week. And I'm looking forward to us getting together tomorrow. So I will talk to everybody uh, the next time I see you guys. So you all take care. Good night.